good, the bad, and the odd. It can only get better.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Right, we're watching a film that is quite old now, and I've never seen it before. You had seen it before, hadn't you?
Yeah, I saw it a couple of years ago.
Okay, so this is 37 years old? Is that right?
Yeah, 82.
82, so
yeah,
37 years old. 1982, which was a great year for cinema. If you check the 1982 movies that come out, there's some amazing films, The Thing and E.T. and stuff like that, but loads of them. There's some really great films in 82. It's possibly one of the greatest years of cinema. And Dark Crystal. So Dark Crystal came out. Now, one of the reasons we got around to this is we kind of want to watch the Dark Crystal TV series, right? We might cover it sometime. We might not. We'll see how we go. But I have been meaning to get to this one for quite some time, but never got to it. So we had a reason, right? So it's not a Muppet film, but it's from the same creative team.
It's
as the
puppetry.
Muppets.
It's Jim Henson, Frank Oz, and the usual crew. So
and there's all sorts. There's quite a lot of sort of British acting. Voice in it too, isn't there? So it feels like a British production kind of, and I think it kind of is. I have to say I was pleasantly surprised watching this. I didn't think it was a great film, but I was kind of really taken with the art design. It looks really good, and it kind of, in my head, it kind of ties into a lot of the fantasy. A lot of fantasy films come out in the early 80s, didn't they? There was like all the 80s generally. Return to Oz, Labyrinth,
Krull.
Legend, Krull. There's another
Hulk the Slayer was a bit earlier, right?
Hulk the Slayer was a little earlier. Neverending Story. They're all kind of fantasy versions with a touch of this and a touch of that. I mean, if you want to get into other, Willow, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of Star Wars, I think, might have made the money available for this sort of stuff because it's kind of verging on sort of Star Wars aspirational stuff. But whereas Star Wars is sci fantasy, really, this is more just straight fantasy, right? So really, it's a quest story, isn't it? Saving the world kind of story, which we've seen in other, and talking of fantasy films, Conan and Conan 2 and Red Sonja. Also, many of those were also
kind of those on the brain recently.
Yeah, I have. They're all kind of quests. Well, not all of them, but quest stories tend to be the common thing in fantasy, doesn't they? Rescuing someone or getting something. And this one was about the Dark Crystal, which was resolving balance to this world.
Yeah, the world of Thra.
Yeah, so there's a lost shard of the main crystal, and that'll help restore balance. Bizarrely reminded me quite a lot of the first ever sequel to Star Wars, written sequel, which was called Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which was also about a lost part of a shard of crystal, Kyber crystal, that had to be sort of dealt with. And it's about these weird race called the Skeksis that are kind of half bird, half... I don't know.
They're these weird dragon-like things.
They're a bit bird-like, they're a bit lizardy, and they're kind of...
Evil.
They take the life force out of people.
Spectacularly evil.
And there's not many of them.
No, there's only 8, I think.
Yeah, and they sort of want to be kind of live forever, but it turns out the Emperor seems to kind of slowly disintegrate and die each time someone becomes an emperor. So there's something going on there. So we are kind of far away from the Muppets with that kind of tone. I really like some of the animatronics and puppetry involved. There was occasional times one of the characters was obviously a person dressed up as them. Yeah. And they moved quite a bit different. It's kind of
good because you got like a more of a sense of scale because those puppets were huge. Like, they could easily put like a regular... Yeah, they're big. There's people like completely in them. So
didn't realise that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Except for Jen and the Podlings. So
yeah, Jen. Right. Okay. So the story is there's a character called Jen who's like it's almost a Hobbit story. in many ways, isn't it? Kind of.
It's Jungle Book almost.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. There's all sorts going on there. It's a bit weird. I watched an old 60s show around when we got to watching this, just before, I think, called Puff and Stuff, which was about these weird Muppet-like creatures. Puff and Stuff was created by Sid and Marty Krofft in the late 60s. And it feels in many ways a precursor to the Muppets, because there's just weird creatures, made out of material and stuff like that, doing stuff. So and Puff and Stuff kind of made me think of this when I was watching this. I was thinking of Puff and Stuff, though Puff and Stuff's a lot, it's childish. It's
it's much tamer.
Yeah. So I think there was a lot of interesting art design and the concept art went into this. I really, really liked it. And in fact, I mentioned Labyrinth. Did you know this? Henson and Oz went on to make Labyrinth after this. I did not know that. I just read it. And linking again to Star Wars this was produced by Gary Kurtz of Star Wars. So there was a touch of that. And yeah, I liked it. It was kind of hard to work out what audience he was going for. Was it for, what would you say, older teenagers?
I'd say it was teenagers? Probably going for the young adult audience, really.
Young adult, probably older preteens, right, as well.
I'm going to say the problem with it was the aesthetic made it look very kiddie. Because, you had the podlings who they could easily have just come straight out of, Fraggle Rock or something.
Yeah, there's a touch of that.
The Skeksis, however, are the other end of the scale. It's those things could come out of the Thing, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Now, there was also another race. What were they called? The Mystics.
The Mystics,
who looked a bit like the Skeksis, but nicer and less disgusting. But they appeared to be the same race, maybe. There's the Skeksis who are all malformed and corrupted, and there's the Mystics who are also called the Uru. If you look into the backstory of it. They're more peaceful. It's more ritual and all sorts of calm they've got. Whilst the Skeksis have none of them really have names that are mentioned in the film. They've all got titles. So you got stuff like the Chamberlain, the Gourmand, and the Ornamentalist to the Skeksis. And some of these are reoccurring in the TV series, right? Or I think the TV series is a prequel. Yeah, they're all in the TV series.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
Right, okay. So we can kind of get a lead up from
Simon Pegg is the Chamberlain.
That's going to be odd.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to wait till I see it.
He's the Chamberlain's the one that goes, all the time, so...
Yeah, they have got a weird intonations. They talk in a sort of a weird humming way, which made me think of Dune, actually. There's one character in Dune, in the written book, Count Fenrig, who kind of talks like that.
Yeah, a little.
They don't show him so much in the films.
All the puppetry was originally done with them speaking in their own language, untranslated.
That would be
sort
mental.
of picks up. You're supposed to pick up from context clues what they're actually saying. But yeah,
that's very ambitious.
Apparently, one of the editors just went to Henson and begged him not to do that because it would be unwatchable. Yeah. So yeah, though that stuff does still appear on the bonus features, so you can find
okay.
Also on the bonus features, it turns out Olga was, I'm guessing, performed by Frank Oz because. She sounds like Fozzie Bear.
Yeah, there's a touch of that. Same with Yoda, right? You get that vibe with Yoda. Again, there's this link with Star Wars because these guys did a lot of work on Return of the Jedi, right? Jabba's palace and some of the stuff going on in the rest of it. There's definitely a touch of that, and in fact, some of there's a sort of weird soldier race called the Garthin, which are weird giant cockroachy things.
Yeah.
But there was something about them that reminded me of Gamoran Guards as well, which was a bit weird from Return of the Jedi. So yeah, there's a wizardy guy who's got one eye, and can pop his eye.
Olga, the girl. She's like this ancient. I don't even know what to call her because she's like an entity that's lived on Thra for longer than anything. she talks about conjunctions, and there's even a bit where Jen, the main character, he tells her that his master, who was head of the Mystics, has died.
Yeah.
And she's like, he could be anywhere then. So like, she clearly knows more than anyone else, pretty much.
Yeah, she's not frightened of the Skeksis, even when they capture her. She's not bothered at all. She's
so foul-mouthed that it puts off the Skeksis.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
She's like grumble and rot, and they're like, oh, what horrible language.
Yeah. So Jen is travelling to this place, and he finds a female gelfling. He's a gelfling. He comes across a female gelfling who the Skeksis have killed her family, if I remember rightly.
They killed her entire village, and she was adopted by a race called the Podlings.
Yeah.
Who are, as I found out, based on potatoes.
Nice. Nice. Kira is her name, right?
Yeah.
So, and they've also got this weird... She's got this weird pet that's like a...
dog thing?
Yeah, it's like a ball of fur with a big mouth, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
it's a bit like imagine a tribble with teeth. That's it's a bit like that. So they go on this quest. They get heading towards the Skeksis castle. We also see the Mystics as kind of awoken or aroused or whatever, and they start heading towards the castle. Not aroused. What did I possibly mean?
Why?
Awakened. That's what I meant. Roused. That roused.
Yes.
So they're awakened, and they start heading towards the castle. So they what else happens? They get these weird animals that are kind of cool. That reminded me really of the Wheelers from Return to Oz.
Oh, the Landstriders, yeah.
The Landstriders.
They were really cool.
They were very cool.
We're kind of skipping out on some stuff, but it's just kind of adventure-y stuff. Like they wander into a place, something happens, it gets solved on its own, and they carry on within like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like he steps in the pool, Kira whistles, and like this big toad thing comes out and lifts him out of the pool. That's it.
That was cool. And there's also a sequence where they find out they share dreams, so they kind of know each other's history just by dream fasting.
That was a really cool way of doing the backstory. Like, because you got like bits of both of them, and neither of them really exposited out loud. So it didn't seem clumsy. It was just an ability that neither of them knew that they had. So
yeah, it was kind of cool. I like that bit. And throughout this film, I was kind of impressed with the art design.
Yeah,
and the music wasn't bad either. There was kind of cool stuff going on there. So yeah, there was some definite good points. I felt like it wasn't really made for someone like me. I felt like I would have probably been too old to enjoy it properly when it was made. And though we think it's for young adults, it felt to me it was more like early teens, actually. Somewhat. Okay. Maybe not. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I stick by young adults. This could easily... Well, I say aimed at young adults. I don't think it would have done very well with young adults.
Yeah. So. I mean, there is some grim stuff, like the dissolving emperor and things like that. Yeah. So that's a bit strong for younger...
Yeah, and there's a whole sequence where these podling things get their life extracted, literally, so the Emperor can like toss the drink back. It's like just like it's made into a liquid, and the Emperor drinks it for youth.
Yeah, it's got a touch of vampirism about it, and of course, but like I said to you, that's weird because it seems like the only one who actually ages and gets worse is the Emperor. All the other Skeksis seem fine, so it's almost like what the Emperor's doing to these creatures is maybe affecting him rather than keeping him alive, and they haven't quite realised it or something like that. They get to Of
course, there is also the implication that, as we find out, the Skeksis and the Mystics are connected.
Yeah.
When one gets injured, and the other feels it.
Yeah, and they look kind of similar as well, so there's kind of that. Then they come
but the implication is that the head of the Mystics basically, like, he Jedi'd out of there specifically because it would kill the Emperor.
Oh, right. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
They got this prophecy about when there's a triple sun...
Yeah,
everything gets undone.
Got these things called conjunctions. Thra has 3 sons, Right. And when they line up, there's something big happens. I think the last time in the setting it happened, the crystal cracked. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they all head towards the castle, and then it's kind of the final showdown. Have I missed my... well, like you say, it's kind of...
there's the Chamberlain, who's a Skeksis, kind of... There's a whole sequence where he gets exiled and...
Yeah, and he goes and kind of tries to make friends with them, saying he's
well, it's not clear whether he's actually trying to make friends with them or just trying to get back in the Skeksis court.
Well, it kind of becomes apparent he's just trying to get back in the court, doesn't it, really, by the end? So there is that. But he's trying to befriend them, and they're kind of suspicious, but they kind of fall in with him anyway. So there's this conjunction happening. There's some cool stuff in the Skeksis castle when everyone kind of meets up and sort of things start to resolve. It's kind of grim, but it's cool. I really like some of this stuff.
The whole sequence where the mystics turn up. Well, they restore the crystal, and the Skeksis start like running around and freaking out. And then the mystics turn up, and they start freaking out even more.
Which definitely felt like some of when the Muppets go crazy in the Muppet Show. It had that feel to it, which is a bit unfortunate.
They were sort of doing a Kermit, just like waving their arms
around. Yeah, there was definitely a bit of that. Also, in the meantime, they've captured how do you say Uru? No, what's her name?
Olga.
They captured her, and she's kind of taking a mickey out of her, really.
Yeah.
When they're trying to like be, sinister and stuff, she's going, you having a laugh, or just laughs it off. Her eye even comes out, and it's sitting on its own, so she can look around wherever.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
But yeah, they eventually they restore the crystal, and the mystics turn up, and something happens that fuses the mystics and the Skeksis. So the prophecy originally was when. What is it?
It's like when two become one.
What was sundered and undone shall be whole, two made one by Gelfling hand or none.
Yeah.
So, they were a single race, and then they cracked the crystal during the conjunction, and it split them into two.
Yeah, and also Kira can kind of talk to animals, and she summons all the animals right near the end.
Yeah.
Where her life force is trying to be sucked out for the benefit of the Emperor. She calls these animals, and they all start going crazy.
Yeah.
As well. So it's kind of.
Oh yeah, and she gets stabbed quite brutally.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising.
They stick a knife almost as big as her straight through her back.
Yeah. So by one of the Skeksis, isn't it? Well, obviously. Yeah. But he manages to get the shard in the crystal, and the whole lot starts going mad, and they fuse, and eventually it's shown that they were a single race called the Urskek. And so Uru and Skeksis are Urskeks.
Yeah. And in fulfilling the prophecy, the Urskeks are like super grateful, so they bring Kira back to life and then depart.
Yeah.
They like leave for somewhere else, and he says the crystal of knowledge. He calls it something. I think it's the crystal of knowledge is now yours, and leaves.
Yeah.
So that's how the film ends. It's quite sudden. So
it kind of ends almost perfunctorily, doesn't it? And there's some good voice work in this. I should have mentioned. I really like Ulgra was some great voice work. That was done by Billy Whitelaw. Yeah, that was pretty cool. There wasn't particularly any name people doing voices, though. They weren't particularly famous. A few of them would be famous in England, but not internationally, and only for TV, I think, some of them. So, it had a touch of, Labyrinth and Neverending Story and Wizard of Oz and even Alice in Wonderland, right? There was a touch of that. And definitely riffing on, like, The Hobbit as well. There was definitely a touch of that. I'm
looking through some of the filmographies of the voice actors. The only one that I actually know was Billy Whitelaw, and that's because she was in Hot Fuzz as one of the old women who she runs the hotel where he stays for a bit.
Yeah, so. Which is that weirdly circular connection back to Simon Pegg, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's also the nanny, the mad nanny in The Omen. She's pretty good. Okay. She's done a lot, but those are the most kind of memorable things, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoyed this. I like the puppetry. It has this limitation that puppetry often does of when it's meant to be like action involving beings, it kind of falls a bit flat because they're puppets, right?
Yeah.
They can't run around nicely. There's not a drop of CGI in any of this, really.
No.
There's some special effects, of course, but it's not like that. So I kind of like this. How many times have you seen it?
I've seen it about 4 times.
Okay, so you've returned to it. So. Do you think it's better with repeat viewings?
Yeah, because you notice a lot of little things, like how one of the Skeksis has like got an almost mechanical arm, and like they never even close in on this. But one of the mystics has like a sort of totem instead of an arm.
Oh,
so,
okay, so that's the same.
Yeah,
being,
you can see like little connections like that. So
cool. It was a nice original film. This I quite enjoyed it. Obviously funded because fantasy was coming to be a big thing. Probably after Conan and a touch of Star Wars as well, but Conan probably kicked off a lot of this. But yeah, it was fun. What would you give it out of 10?
I'd give it an easy 8. So
I'll give it a 7. But I got a feeling when I watch it again, I might enjoy it more second time.
Okay.
I was paying quite close attention. Having said that, like I say, I really liked some of the artwork and it was kind of lush. And this wasn't what was it? Was it on Netflix?
Yeah.
It looked like it didn't look really particularly high quality HD to me. So I think it might be better on a Blu-ray actually.
Yeah.
To watch, but yeah, we'll see. So I think we may well return to the Dark Crystal universe when we talk about the Netflix TV series, which is out now. It became available 30th of August 2019. So it's out now to watch, and we'll get to that at some point, I think. So yeah, cool. All right then. Any last thoughts?
No, go watch this film though. So.
Yeah, go watch the film. It's a fun film. It's very Muppety, but in a dark way. So, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So, all right then. So let's wind it up there. So, bye from me.
Bye.